Welcome to this replay in the AMX30 first prototype, the Tier 9 French new medium tank. And this is the first time this tank features on my channel. And in this match it is being driven by Kovson, or as he's known now the AlmightyBaboonKovson from F15. He featured on my channel earlier when he got the ace tanker in the Canonian Jagdpanzer, and now he's getting a nice ace tanker in this Tier 9 tank. So at the start he's moving to the forest, which is always a smart thing to do in medium tanks because you can catch a lot of enemies out here if you play well. So spots a 1390, puts a nice shot in and retreats, not getting shot in return. Now the thing with this tank is it's got quite a nice gun. It's got better gun depression than the Leopard PTA, and arguably it's better because it hasn't got the ammo rack in the front like the Leopard PTA, so you don't get ammo rack by basically every shot that hits you. He puts a nice shot into the M103, pulls back again because they've got two RT, so this tank is basically an RT magnet, so if he gets hit, he dies. And he quickly realizes that his team on this flank is completely outgunned at this moment because one of the IS-3s actually is still in base. So yeah, enemy team has many more tanks on this flank, so he does a smart thing and uses the mobility of this tank to actually pull back. I mean, they've got an IS-8, an M103, T-54, some light tanks, some medium tanks, and all they've got is a Conqueror, a Comet, and one light tank. So yeah, they're never going to win this unless RT manages to one-shot pretty much all of them there. So he gets some distance in, and that's the thing you have to do with these lightly armored medium tanks. Same with the Leopard PTA. You sort of play them like a light tank in so much as that you make sure that you keep your distance and you're not the first target the enemy encounters when they actually push forward, because if they see you first, you die. And here he puts a really nice shot into the M103. I didn't see an outline. I guess he just sort of did a lucky shot over the ridge and actually it fell into his turret. So yeah, so far still doing quite well. The enemy team is reluctant to push through the forest. I don't know why. There's only one tank against them, but yeah, they're taking their sweet time advancing. And as you can see, Kovson's team on the other side though is pushing very aggressively around the ridge, and they're just making short work of all the enemy tanks that are there. Kovson tries to put a shot into the side of the IS-8. Obviously the shot dips for reasons and falls into the ground just in front of the tank. Second shot flies through and hits the IS-8 in the side, but now the Conqueror is getting swarmed. The enemy team finally realized that he's alone and they move in to kill him. IS-3, contrary to what it seems, is not actually a bot and is not AFK, so he will actually be useful in the later stages of the battle, which is always good. He sort of redeems himself. And now Kovson moves to the other flank because his team is still very aggressively pushing, but the enemy has control of the forest, so they have shooters in the forest that aren't getting spotted, and are putting damage into his team. So he moves up to spot the M103, who is killing a lot of his tanks. He already killed two, the T-54 and their M103. Auto aims on the AMX30 from early and kills him, and then he moves up further. Now there's a T-54 on the left, which in that position is held down and can actually be a threat, and this will remain a threat if his gun keeps behaving like this, where shots just don't fly where they're aimed. So M103 over there, Kovson wants to move in for the kill, but then the IS-8 moves back, and there you go. So any shot that's fired at this tank pretty much will penetrate. So yeah, that was an easy penetrating hit. He puts the second shot into the IS-8, and the IS-8 gets finished off by their STI. So now it's looking pretty alright for his team. Again, they've still got 2 heavy tanks, 3 heavy tanks, and Kovson left, as well as 3 artillery. I don't know why the artillery didn't move though. I mean, they saw the threat coming ages ago and they are still camping in base. I guess they haven't realized that they have tracks. And since his team cleared the left flank, they should have probably moved there. But hey, who am I to judge? So, Type 61, which is a pretty equal tank to this one in respects of gun depression, gun in general, but and armor as well, but it isn't as fast. But I think the reload is slightly faster on the Type 61. It's a really nice tank. I really like it. I've got it myself as well, and I actually enjoy playing it much more than the Leopard PTA, but with the ammo rack in the front, the Leopard is just a pain in the butt. So, there we go, Type 61 taken out, but the arty is not on this flank. So, what happened there? Well, what happened there is that his team pushed all the way around the hill, but no one even bothered to just do a basic check into K1 to see if the arty was there. So, this ends up being the arty still in K1 too, because no one bothered to go there. And Kovson actually decides to go for the arty. Now, in this situation, personally, I would first try to take out the 2 tanks, because an arty on itself is an easy kill, but then again, killing the arty will keep his IS-3 safe, so I guess both choices are equally valid in this situation. So he goes to see if he can find the arty, and there's the arty, still in the same location. And it's stuff like this in randoms where you just look in amazement on the general incompetence of players, because everyone knows arty is in that location, so why would no one just do a basic check? I mean, it probably would have saved them a lot of HP in this match to just kill that thing early on. But I digress, back to the match. So Kovson now will go and regroup with his team, which in this situation is absolutely the right thing to do, because he's on 860 something health, which means that he can be killed in 3 shots. So the Tiger II has the 10.5, the T-54 has the 100mm, which all do around something like 4 or 340 damage, so 3 shots and he's dead. So he needs to group up with his friends here to try and kill the enemy tanks. And in situations like this, you always want to stay in range of each other. You never want to split up alone, because if you're caught out by 2 tanks on your own, you basically, in the majority of cases, you just die. Even if they're total tomatoes against you, they have the advantage health-wise and gun-wise, because they've got 2 guns and more health. So he does a smart thing and stays within gun range of the IS-3, so even if he's engaged, the IS-3 can help him, and the other way around. And now he's just making use of these bushes to try and see if he can spot the enemies. IS-3 is moving up, but it doesn't seem that the T-54 and the Tiger II are there anymore. So apart from doing the smart thing, which was to regroup with his team, if he'd stayed around the cap circle, they would have caught him out, because it turns out the T-54 and the Tiger II actually went back to base, and they're doing the smart thing as well, which is to stick together, so they're not going to be caught out alone. So Kovson now moves up. IS-3 is coming up on his left, on the lower edge of the map, and there we go. There's the enemy tanks. So Kovson moves up on the hill. There's bush cover between him and the T-54, but obviously he gets spotted. Don't know how. That's World of Tanks spotting mechanics at work there. But he takes out the T-54, which is also the best tank to take out in this situation, because it's more troll than the Tiger II. You can penetrate the Tiger II from pretty much any angle, and the T-54 is a little bit more difficult, especially when it's held down. So there's the Tiger II, there's a bush or a tree in between him and the Tiger II, but he gets spotted. So this is the crap I was talking about earlier in the Huncut E25 replay. it says nowhere in the game how much camouflage something provides, and you would imagine a tree between you and the enemy would actually provide you camouflage, but it doesn't seem to do so. So yeah, Tiger 2 luckily is a complete idiot and is shooting HE. He thinks, yeah, this tank has no armor, so we shoot HE, but it has more armor than your HE's got penetration, so you're going to do less damage. If he shot AP, Hunkout would have died here, but luckily he's staying true to his tomato legacy and only shooting HE because it does more damage. So, anyway, ace tanker for Kovson in the AMX first prototype with 5,500 damage. Actually, I think he did more damage because he had a couple of blind shots. So some really nice damage, high caliber medal as well, ace tanker, and 1300 something basic speed. So I hope you enjoyed the replay. I certainly did enjoy watching this tank in action. I've not got it myself yet. I'm still grinding the 1390 slowly in strongholds and stuff, so I'll get it eventually. It looks really nice, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to rate it and possibly subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.